Hello there. So we're going to do 3 sun salutations. They're more or less the same moves. I'm just going to modify them slightly so that the first level will be for everybody and anybody, and at each one you can even further advance them from this. And there are loads, as I was saying on the video earlier on, that there are loads of different variations on sun salutation. This is the one that I would teach in my yoga classes. And even after, I'd say about 6 weeks, I have seen people come on leaps and bounds in just how they're able, through practice, how it develops and how they can modify it and just take it up a little notch for themselves. I mean, this is not a competition. There's a difference between gaining awareness of your body and waking up muscles than hurting yourself, okay? So please be mindful. And if anything feels a little bit too pinchy, a little bit too sore for you, please do stop and just have awareness into your own body. So I'm standing on my lovely woolly backed yoga mat. This has a solid back on it. The wool is actually Irish wool, and these are manufactured in the UK. And I really like the texture of them. This would be the mat I would use when I do yoga in the winter time. I don't usually use it at this time of the year if I was indoors, but because we're outside, it just protects a little bit from underneath. So we're going to start at the top of our mat, and we're going to begin in mountain pose. So finding the 4 corners of our feet. If you can think back, I think it's 6, maybe it's 8 weeks ago. 4 corners of your feet, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to, the first sun salutation we do, I'm going to kind of go nice and slowly, and the other 2, I'm just going to tell you about the modification. So again, you just do this to your own pace. And if you want to remain at version 1, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, because you can still work within each version and pushing it or taking it to whatever level that you can take it, okay? So we'll start in mountain pose, 4 corners of our feet, grounding in through our feet and standing up nice and tall, hips and shoulders in line, broadening of the chest, arms down by the side. Maybe just take a moment here, closing our eyes, inhaling and exhaling. And on the next inhalation, we're going to raise our hands to the sky. You can look up if you want. Inhale, exhaling, and fold. And bringing yourself to wherever is comfortable. You can have your hands on your shins, you can have your hands on your thighs. If you can, reaching your hands to the floor, that's perfect. Exhale, inhale, bringing your hands to your shins, to your thighs, trying to flatten your back, looking forward with your chin towards the end of your mat. Inhale, exhaling, and fold. Bringing your hands to either side of your feet, and if you need, you can bend your knees at this point. Taking your right knee back, taking your right foot back, and bringing your knee to the ground, flattening the top of your foot. So this is called runner's lunge. So even if this is as far as you can manage for 6 weeks, that's great. Each time you do it, perhaps maybe you can slide your knee back just a little bit further, and you can really deepen down. This is a really good hip opener. Inhaling, taking your hands flat, exhaling, lifting up and bringing your left foot back. This is called plank pose. This is quite a strong pose, so coming to your knees and just bringing your wrists in line with your elbows and your shoulders. So this is in itself, this is quite a strong pose. It really engages your core to be able to hold like this. So you don't have to do it for as long as me. I'm just doing it nice and slowly just to talk you through each stage. And then flattening your feet to the ground, and then slowly lowering your pelvis, then your chest, and then your head. Sliding your hands forward to the ends of your mat, bringing your shoulders in line with your elbows, in line with your shoulders, and lifting yourself up into what we call Sphinx pose. So you're really pushing down through the front of your pubic bone into your elbows. Your chest is open and you're looking forward. It's not collapsing down like so. Sphinx pose. Inhale, and On the exhalation, bringing your head towards the floor, sliding your hands back, curling your toes under, and pushing yourself up into downward dog. Now, I find whenever I go from Sphinx or from the floor to downward dog, I always have to adjust my hands slightly. So downward dog, feet are on the floor, up on your toes if you wish. It's a really nice way to stretch out the legs, pushing back into your bum and trying to bring your heels to the floor. Maybe your heels reach the floor, maybe they never do. And you can walk your dog in this pose, bending your legs left and right. Really nice way to stretch out the back of the body. Inhaling and exhaling in this pose. And when you're ready, bending both knees, exhale, and slowly just walking yourself forward to come up to your hands. Now again, if touching the floor like this is tricky, bend your knees. Be gentle with yourself, especially if you haven't done this in a while. It can be hard, and it's nice just to bend the knees, straighten the legs, and just seeing how far. I can even just feel that really stretching up the left side of my legs. So exhaling, and then inhaling, reaching your hands back up to the sky. Exhale, hands in prayer onto your chest. So we're going to repeat that version on the left side. Inhale, hands up, lifting your eyes to the sky or the ceiling. Exhale, and fold if you need, bending your knees. If you can't touch the floor, that's great. Inhale, hands to your shins, at the tops of your thighs to help maintain a straight back, chin pointing past the end of your own mat, so you're looking forward. If you look down, you tend to round. Inhale and exhale, folding hands either side, bringing your left leg back as far as you can, foot, bringing your knee to the floor, flattening your feet down. And maybe you can do a small little bounce into the front hip, looking forward over the end of your mat, runner's lunge. Inhale and exhale, a nice little pose to warm up the hips. Inhale, curling that toe under, and bringing your right foot back to left. Plank pose, if you find that too challenging, just go straight to your knees and flatten your feet. There's a couple of variations on plank pose. Even holding yourself like this now is quite a challenge. And don't forget, as you see, bringing your head forward, because your neck is part of your spine, so your back is supposed to be straight. So bringing yourself slowly, pelvis, chest, head, sliding your hands forward, so your elbows are under your shoulders. Inhale, lifting up. You've got the soles of your feet, the tops of your feet, sorry, are flat on the floor. You're pushing in through your pelvis bone, up on your elbows, and you're lifting up, so your chest is broad. This is a gentle back compression and a chest opener. Bringing your head down, exhaling, curling your toes under, and pushing back into the hug. So using the pads at the bottom of your fingers as your kind of brake pads, for want of a better word, and maybe bending your legs left and right to work out the muscles of your legs. And just enjoying that whole body stretch. So inhaling and bending your knees, exhaling and bringing yourself forward to the top of your mat if you need, bending your knees. Just take it easy with yourself, and maybe trying to stretch out the backs of your legs if you can. Exhale, inhale, bringing your hands up to the sky, looking up. Exhale, hands in prayer. So now we're going to do it for our second time on both sides. And we're just going to adjust it slightly. It doesn't have to be major adjustments, but perhaps if you find the first version quite easy for you, this might be the one to try. So inhale, hands up. Exhale, and fold. Inhale, hands on your shins and your thighs, back straight, looking forward. Exhale and fold. Bringing your right leg back and staying up off your knee this time. So up on the tips of your fingertips and shoulders, wrists in line, head up and looking forward. And again, you can bounce into that front leg. You really feel it on the inside of your thigh. Exhale, flatten your hands, bringing your left leg back into plank. Stick with leaving our knees on the ground to start. You can cross your ankles if you want, right over left, left over right, doesn't matter. Chin up and looking forward. As you can see, Steve, even I keep looking down. So keeping your spine straight. And then attempting to lower yourselves while your feet are in the air. Lowering yourselves, pelvis, chest, head. And then bringing your feet to the floor. Sliding your hands forward. You can go forward a little bit more. You can bring your hands to underneath your shoulders. Sorry, not hands so much forward. And your elbows tucked in beside your ribs and lifting yourself up into a cobra. So you're bringing the upper body up a bit further. You won't hold this pose as long. Inhale. Exhale, bringing your head to the floor. Curl your toes under. And push back up into dog. If your dog is very comfortable, and bending your legs right and left isn't much of a challenge here. So I do the three-legged dog. Lifting up the right leg. Inhaling and exhaling. Bending your knees, bringing it back to the floor, bending both knees. Exhale, walking forward. Holding. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, hands in prayer. Left hand side. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands on the shins or the sides, looking forward, flat back. Exhale, hands by your side, left leg back. Going to keep the left knee up if you can. And bouncing into that hip area. And up on your fingertips. Inhaling and exhaling. And just enjoying that gentle stretch. The bounce is good. It helps to just waken up the muscles slightly. Flatten your hands. Right leg back into plank. We'll go to our knees. Maybe crossing your legs the other way. Inhaling and exhaling and slowly bringing yourself down. Pelvis, chest, head. Bringing down your feet. Sliding your hands up to your shoulders. Tucking your elbows in by your ribs. But don't crunch yourself up. It's just tucking your elbows in. And then bringing yourself up into cobra. And if you find that in this your back seems to get too compressed or it locks for you, what you do is you just let your feet, your heels hang out to either side. So you're relaxing your legs, it helps relax your glutes. And it doesn't compress your back so much. And head to the floor. Sliding your hands back, curl your toes under. Push back into dog. Again, as I said, if walking the dog is easy enough for you, try lifting your left leg. And maybe your left and your right feels very different. So my right leg always feels a wee bit stronger than my left. Feeling far more comfortable and confident with my left leg in the air. Bending the knee, bringing it to the floor, bending both. Exhale, walking forward, fold. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands in prayer. And then the next one, we're going to just take it up one more notch. Inhale, hands up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, hands on your shins, looking forward or on your sides. Exhale and fold. Right leg back, keeping the leg up. And bring the left hand inside the left leg. I'm going to twist. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, hands to the floor. Left leg back. You can try challenging yourself with a plank and going into chaturanga. I know if you've never done it before, this isn't maybe the chance to try. Slowly, in one line, bringing your body to the floor. Sliding your hands up to your shoulders, tucking your elbows in by your ribs. And bring yourself into cobra, remembering to let the legs relax. Inhale. Exhale, head to the floor. Curl your toes under. Push back into dog. Then if walking the dog is easy enough, lifting one leg, Turning yourself, opening yourself up a little bit further. Quite Japanese. Bending the leg if you like. You can do all funky stuff with a dog. Bring your right leg down, bending both knees. Exhale, walking forward. Fold, enjoying that stretch up the long of the back of your legs. It seems very easy when you come to the third one. Inhale, hand up. Exhale, hands in prayer. Last time on the left side. Inhale, hand up. Exhale, and fold. Inhale, hands on your shins and your thighs, looking forward. Exhale, and fold. Using your left leg back, keeping up off the knee. Bring your right hand inside your right leg, and you're pushing your right elbow against your right knee, and using that as your balance. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, hands to the floor. Right leg back into plank. Remember that your head is part, or your neck is part of your spine, so it's all in one line. So looking forward helps that. And trying to lower yourself to the floor, all in one go. Feet flat, sliding your hands up to your shoulders, tucking your elbows in by your ribs. Up into cobra, remembering to relax out your legs, relax your glutes. It releases the compression on your lower back. Exhale, head to the floor, curling your toes under, and push back into dog. And again, walking the dog is easy. But if walking the dog is where you're at, there's nothing wrong with walking your dog. Lifting the leg if you like, and turning yourself open over your leg. Bring both legs to the floor, bending your knees. Exhale, walking forward. Oh, enjoying that lovely fold. Inhale, hand up. And exhale, hands in prayer in front of your chest. Lovely. So, sun salutation is quite an aerobic workout. There's, as I said, there's a number of different variations. In my average yoga class, I would usually repeat it about 3 times. And we would often start with the first one, and we might end up at the third or slightly different one, depends on my class. There was one lady who used to come to the class, and actually to do a down dog using the floor was really just a step beyond where she was at. She used to use a chair at that point. So there's loads of different modifications within it. She used to use a chair, and then after, I think it was 6 or 8 weeks, she was able to do a down dog on the floor, which was like a huge achievement for her, and also quite a confidence boost. So it's through practice. You know, even when I usually start off my practice, I would find that a forward fold, I might find the backs of my legs just don't stretch so far, but by the time you've done it a few times, yes, your body has warmed up. And also, our on a cellular level, all of our cells have their own little memory bank. So your body will know that bending this way is something it knows and it does, but just sometimes it needs a gentle reminder. So you might think, I can't touch my toes. Well, maybe you can't touch your toes today, but you know, if you try it, it's amazing what it can do for you through practice. It's like everything, driving a car, making the right cup of tea, whichever it is for you. But like stretching out the length of your legs, particularly if you're a runner or a jogger, these are the lower muscles of your legs would often get quite tight. So this can be really good for helping to support lots of other different practices. And what I love about that is, I mean, you just have the space of a mat. You don't need anything extra. There are some disciplines where you would do 108 sun salutations as one workout, and it's quite something. I mean, I don't know what my max is, maybe 20 odd or something like that before I've gone, whoa. And it depends as well, because you get aerobic and you begin to start stripping off. I'm standing outside today and it's actually turned a bit cloudy, so I have a cardigan on. But one of the things that all of my clothes are workable within doing yoga, and I much prefer to do it in my bare feet than in socks. so hence I have my trusty leg warmers on. So yeah, let me know if there's any questions, if anybody has any questions, or if you think that I'd like to see what it looks like doing it with a chair or something like that, I can do another video. But I'm aware that overloading you with too much information, if it's not relevant, then people tend to, we tend to scroll past it. So yeah, if there is somebody, I definitely can do another version and show you sun salutation with modifications using chairs and stuff like that. So there's always a way around everything. I really do believe that everybody can do yoga. It's just about finding what works with your body. And for some people, you know, you might find that your torso is longer than your legs, and therefore touching the floor isn't a problem. And then some people have a shorter torso, touching the floor with their hands without their knees being bent, you know, is what they need. It's quite a challenge. So we're all made a little bit differently, but there's always variations on every single pose. And so yeah, reach out to me if you need any help. So thank you for watching, and enjoy.